Welcome back to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, back with you with Daredevil Born Again, Episode 8, Isle of Joy. A lot went down in this episode, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we got a suit up from Daredevil in this one either. So that's very limited in this series. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we didn't see him in his outfit. I almost didn't make it to the mic tonight. I had something going on, but I need to talk about this episode. I need to get it to you guys so we can all process what happened in this episode of Daredevil Born Again. I love that title. It's a great name for the show. It's like a great sequel show. Not many shows have like a sequel show, so it kind of makes this one a little special. It's full of tension, violence, big, shocking reveals. Everything Born Again has been building toward, except some crazy end of episode twist that I honestly can only see as a positive thing for Daredevil. We're gonna get all into that. He's taking hits on all sides, Matt Murdock. He really is almost as undone of than we've ever really seen him. He's emotionally undone, he's legally undone, he's physically undone. And then the ending, okay? Literally taking a bullet for Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. Why? Well, this Friday I have an episode coming out, and it's going to be covering the Daredevil movie. And I'll just tell you, I already recorded it because I wanted to record it right when I watched it, so it was fresh in my mind. It's a nice step away from this show into a multiverse a little bit down the road. And it's fun to imagine every movie or everything Marvel has done. It's pretty much like just in the multiverse now. They pretty much canonized everything. And at the end of this episode, it's just such a quick ending. The soundtrack was pretty great. I got to go back and see what that was playing at the end there. Actually, there was a couple of songs in this episode. It just reminds me of the Daredevil episode you'll be listening to Friday if you dare so choose. And they have a crazy soundtrack, and this episode had a pretty great soundtrack, but it really worked, I think, in my opinion. And I don't know if that's because of the times, because the movie soundtrack feels like aged, but the soundtrack in this doesn't. Is it because it's better, or is it because it's not aged? I guess time will tell. Yeah. So, like I said, Matt is not in the best place as we're opening and breaking down this episode, and yeah, he didn't swing kick or Daredevil his way around as much as I would have liked this episode. But if we know how the MCU Marvel series on Disney Plus go, there's usually a big finale, like a big one. And I mean, this episode did also feel very big in scope. And there were a few things I was really impressed by. The way it was being filmed and perspectives and this black and white Ty Gala ball that is held for the mayor. Awesome set piece, awesome place to bring everyone in the show that you could want to know together, even Bullseye. The first shot is a blue flower being picked, some serene music, and then we're at a prison. So we get to see Bullseye from the beginning. We kind of see his little journey to where we meet him at the end. He's dumped into a cell with like hundreds. It looks like hundreds. It might be like 100. I will let you know here and now, if the world shatters and breaks around me, I'm still going to make this podcast because it means more to me than anything right now. And I'm here for it more than anything. So just to tell you, I'm not like broken down as Matt Murdock, but I'm facing some difficulties. And I guess I'm being honest about it. If I feel different today, it's because of that. But everything's okay. We're at the penultimate episode of Born Again, one of the greatest shows the MCU has put out, which I'm afraid is just going to be dumped on because he's not Daredevil every episode. What they're doing is a brilliant character piece on a former superheroes trying to uphold himself to that identity while also being intensely and immensely ashamed of who he is and what he's doing. Each thing hurts. It hurts not to be Daredevil, and it hurts to be Daredevil. And yeah, so we don't know why we see Bullseye at the beginning, but we know it's not good. No, it's not great. Fisk and Vanessa, their port project's finally approved, so he's celebrating big. We discover that he and Vanessa did plot Lucas's murder last week. So we weren't sure if like Fisk was infiltrating Vanessa, like doing that to him. No, they're on the same side, and they're more on the same side than I've ever seen them. They are in sync. They're happy. Maybe because they killed this guy together. Adam. Yeah. Vanessa murders him with cold brutality. And it only goes to show how cold the kingpins are, with like how quickly they move into like happy scenes after this. It's almost like she didn't do that. Or it's almost like she's done that a couple times before. But the thing about it, you know, Fisk has all these redeeming scenes, but there's some moments where you are definitely reminded that he is the baddie, and not just for being bad, but for doing grotesque things. Like after she murdered him, he like romanticized it and like started to hold her in his arms, like in front of the dead body. You know what I mean? That's kind of serial killer-y, like, you know what I mean? But well, it's Kingpin. We can't forget Kingpin is under all this, and he's getting better and better at putting on that mask. Now, something really complicated happened at the end of this episode to make you wonder where will all this be going, as a great second to last episode should do. Heather's fallout. Heather's completely traumatized for the situation with Muse. She kind of trash talks Daredevil too, right in front of Matt. So at least she doesn't know. But she feels like she was abandoned and like she wasn't really saved. She saved herself because she killed him with the gun. I'll be honest, though. If Daredevil didn't show up, she would have died. She might not remember that, but I just watched the episode right before this. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with her, but she's just kind of, Muse himself is really the cause for this, because he has the mask made of a canvas, as I found out on the internet, like many of you. And, he was a cool villain that many people expressed wish he didn't go so soon. Well, out there in the multiverse, I'm sure there's a couple more of him or people like him. It was a great villain to kind of bring Daredevil back into the picture. So I'm okay with last episode. I was actually really pretty happy with last episode, but I can see why, like Ryan at Screen Crush, he didn't like it so much because of the potential of the fuller story we could have gotten with Muse, because he's such an interesting character with so many different attributes and traits that like I don't have a villain in my vocabulary or knowledge that is an artist and he finds passion in paintings in blood of his victims. That is insanely disgusting, and also like a super disturbing villain, and I think it's good for Daredevil to be taking a guy like this down. But yeah, but anyways, Heather, Muse as Muse. Am I right? Am I using the word right? I don't think I am. As traumatized as she is, she just at this moment she aligns with Fisk and Vanessa emotionally a bit, which is kind of disturbing. You know, Matt's legal life is kind of collapsing around him. Matt's whole life is kind of like collapsing around him. Kirsten, his co-lawyer, what do they call him, his partners, she noticed he's bruised and distracted and checked out all the time. And Matt actually does some real lawyer work in this episode. We've seen him doing it throughout the show, but he does some real lawyer work. And he confronts a lying client using his heartbeat skills. So, like, okay, maybe Matt's a little unhinged to be doing his job right now, because he knows the guy's lying. And he usually, I'll be honest, this isn't out of character for Matt Murdock. I've seen him walk away from, I literally feel like he's done this before. Like where he knows, I think it was Karen Page. He knows they're lying about something and he doesn't want to take on the criminal. He only wants to take on the innocent. And he can kind of basically pick and choose by being a living lie detector. Bullseye requests Matt. Does he know that he's Daredevil? He has to, right? That's the thing that I'm so confused about. How does he know? Well, maybe he found out at the end of season 3 of Daredevil, because there was a big fight happening between the three of them, Fisk, Bullseye, and Daredevil. The Josie bar scene, the Josie's bar, the return to Josie's. It's his first time since Foggy's death. He also discovers that Foggy was drinking a liquor that he normally doesn't drink unless he was celebrating a win, which he was. He thought he won this case that he was going to be doing like the next day. So he was having like drinks about it, and he was kind of quietly celebrating. He could have won his case before he died. Matt's just like piecing it all together, as well as are we. I'm wondering when and if Foggy is actually alive in witness protection. I know a lot of people are carrying that theory. After this episode, I'm really not sure. And this meeting turns into an interrogation pretty fast. You know, he's really trying to the answer he wants out of Bullseye, and Bullseye's not giving it to him. And he is scared, though, about all the guys that want to hurt him in prison. So he's actually asking Matt to represent him. And isn't that what a good guy would do? Isn't that like a good guys do? And he says, in another world, I know you'd represent me, Bullseye says. And Matt just like smashes his face into this table like 5 to 6 times. He is brutal. He needs to get back in the suit when he does this, because he's almost outing himself. People will call him like not blind, I bet, or something, because he's walking around without a stick. He's doing all these out of nowhere, like untraditional. Obviously, I don't want to get caught being a superhero in broad daylight. Like, he had that fight with Muse in broad daylight because he had to save her. That makes sense. But still, we don't really see him fighting in the suit in the daytime. So that also kind of throws me off. So is this a character we're about to discuss, Daniel? He's a character I kind of liked a lot at the beginning, and now as the season is just almost wrapping up, I don't like him that much. I think he's so ignorant, and I think he's going to really fuck up something that means a lot to Fisk and get himself in a very, very dark situation with Fisk that he probably could have imagined would have happened a couple of years ago. But, you know, Fisk is kind of being a little more brutal these days. So we got BB and him, and their dynamic does deepen, but she is definitely working him for info because she was talking to someone else, and then she says, I got to get back to work. And then she goes to Daniel, and you can't but help but feel for the guy a little tiny bit. Oh my God! At the black and white ball is such a cool setting because everyone from the show is there. Even Jack from Hawkeye, he appears, and Fisk calls him out as a swordsman. We only get to see him as a swordsman in uniform, in costume, in that video a few episodes ago. I want to see him. I would watch a series with him in it, but I don't know. You know what? I would. That actor, God forbid, I don't know his name right now. He's from Better Call Saul. A lot of Better Call Saul people in this show. Very good choices. I want to see him as a swordsman. Maybe a little mini movie or something. I think he's so charismatic. He could definitely hold one up on his own. There's a callback to what Jack said. Just a warning to Fisk. This episode, Fisk tells him just a warning, but it's seriously like an actual Wilson Fisk Kingpin threat. A big escalating problem in the series right now, and for next episode, most likely what Matt will go up against. I don't know. The end of the episode changes everything, doesn't it? Like, Matt's down bad. I don't know where that's going. I mean, Luke Cage can get shot and get the bullet out of his like invincible skin and live, but this is like Matt Murdock. Like, he is mostly human. They should rename the show Daredevil There and Then, because he's not really Daredevil all the time. It's really about his conflict being born again. And I believe, just like in Breaking Bad, there's never like a moment where the man breaks bad. I'm sorry for talking about Vince Gilligan shows. I haven't been watching them, but seriously, I might need them in my life. What if Vince Gilligan did something in the MCU? It might be the greatest thing that the MCU ever did. Give Vince Gilligan a cool story to do. Imagine, like, just a Breaking Bad in the MCU. One nerd can only dream. So, yeah, but the task force is a little unhinged. Like, they're boiling this guy's hand in frying oil, and the commissioner cop, who was like kind of standing up to Fisk in the first few episodes, he gets surrounded by all these corrupted cops. There's like 30 of them, and that's an estimate, but you know, that's a lot of bulky cops. That's a lot of corruption. BB and the commissioner actually kind of have like a team up going on right now, which actually might help take this thing down. I don't know how fast Fisk will go down. Maybe Fisk will get taken out of office, and it'll go back to just straight underworld dealings. My prediction, I'm going to say it, Vanessa isn't going to make it out of the series alive. I think she's going to die. Symbolized by the red dress she wore at the dance, and Matt calling her out. So much tension. It was so like cringy in a way, but like also nerve wracking. Like there's multiple times where Matt's just beelining it to Fisk, and then something happens where he can't like talk to him in kind of like private for a second, and he never quite makes it to Fisk. And Heather's at the ball. Matt's not there with him at first, and he arrives late, so he's very intense. Heather tries to stop what he's doing. She's really, honestly, a victim of the life of a vigilante, and Matt can't just tell people who he is because it'll affect his regular day life too much. So he can't risk it. So like he does what he has to maintain his hidden identity, you know. And it's just another episode where Matt Murdock doesn't go in the suit, but he tries to be a superhero. What? Let's think about this for a second. It just hit me in the head. This is going to be a very publicized moment. We're going to see a blind man the public knows as a blind lawyer. We're going to see him jump in front of the mayor and take a bullet. Now, yeah, he saved the mayor's life. But how did that blind man know? And what? How did that blind man just do? Think about that. That is going to be probably what's buzzing around all next episode. Matt just gave himself away, kind of. And I don't know if Fisk will honor Matt because he saved his life, and out of respect to just let Matt move on and be Daredevil and maybe frame Poindexter. Now I'm overthinking it now, but dang it, Matt takes that bullet, dude. Bullseye shows up at this place. By the way, the minute Bullseye had a chance, he was able to, like, anything he has, his own tooth, he used it as a bullet spitting out of his mouth to get loose for the first time. Then he works his way out of prison. It's kind of actually incredible how he wants to get out of prison, and the law won't help him, a.k.a. Matt Murdock, a.k.a. I think he knows who he is. Matt acting so relentlessly. I think that might come back to haunt him by the end of next episode. We might have a Spider-Man No Way Home situation where his identity is outed to everyone, and he doesn't got no Doctor Strange to make everybody forget that. Fisk flees, but Matt takes the bullet, so Fisk flees. Matt is left bleeding, collapsing, very, very similar to our guy Foggy. And the final shot is inverted and bathed in red. No post-credit scene. There's usually at least one for this second to, like, this episode, but like the second to last episode. But no big deal. It was a crazy episode. I don't know. I think a post-credit scene would have thrown the ending off. So will this have any bigger impact on the MCU as we know it? Fisk being at his most powerful yet most vulnerable at the same time. And the fact that Vanessa, she's not just complicit anymore. She's the co-mastermind. She's the queen pin. We might as well call her. Is that lame? Hashtag queen pin. Hashtag Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. We're on all your socials, MarvelManiacPod. And if you want to lay your thoughts on this episode or this series before the finale, MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Reach out to me. Give me your thoughts. I'm looking out for your emails. Unless you're a meanie, you're going to be featured on the show. Unless you don't want it to be. In which, I beg you, please let me use your thing. We don't have many writers these days. You can't fall from somewhere you never got up. So I'll just say that. Like, I got one email once when I was missing for a week when I started the podcast years ago, and the guy was concerned. It's like, you've been here every week. Where are you? I'm like, I missed this one. And then I ended up taking big breaks, and a little backstory here from Mr. Honest going into our ending here, ending breakdown / predictions. I want to know more about what's going on with Bullseye. Did Fisk hire him? He kind of hinted to Matt that Fisk did hire him to do that. But why Foggy? And then why? And if it was planned, he wouldn't have killed all the other innocent people. Bullseye is a weapon to be used and abused, and I don't know who sent him on that path, and everyone wants to know it at this point. Could Jack the Swordsman actually, though, become an ally too? The Swordsman, will he maybe show up next episode, or maybe when Matt's recreating the Defenders, and a much better telling of that story? So at the end of this episode, if we can only assume Matt will walk away with next to minor injuries, hopefully able to get back up and give us the finale we need. And Foggy's murder is even more personal now. Matt might cross some lines. He might go into forbidden territory to get the answers he wants, or maybe to find Foggy alive somehow for some reason. It's looking like that less and less. But if they did it and they pulled it off, am I happy about that. My prediction for the finale is going to be this. Matt is going to go up against Bullseye. Fisk, I think his empire will start to fall on its own. There's so many things going wrong for Fisk on the outside. That BB making the story and her vendetta to get justice for her uncle Ben Urich, who died, I think, season 1, literally. I love that they're going back to that and making that a big part of this show. Is anyone upset that Matt took the bullet for Fisk? Like, what do you think about that? MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Do you think Vanessa is the final boss of the season? Like I'm thinking. Like, is she the one that dies? Is that going to send Fisk on a road to being a brutal mobster level kingpin? I don't think he can stay. I don't think he can stay not unhinged. I think Fisk has like a lust for blood, which is like scary as hell. He's so scary, and he's like all muscular now. It seems like every time he becomes the villain, though, his suits make him look a lot bigger, which I like. I like that he was decked out in that white kingpin tuxedo, and Vanessa wearing all red. Oh man, I don't know, symbolism. She's gonna die. It also showed the painting, the rabbit in a snowstorm from the original Daredevil series, which has a red splat on it, symbolizing death from when Matt was beating the literal crap out of Fisk in the season 3 finale. So I like that he still holds on to it, maybe just to remind him of that. And Bullseye, we're going to get answers. We must get answers. We're probably going to get a big cliffhanger because season 2 is already filming. Bullseye being out is scary and not a good thing. The minute Bullseye gets out, he does bad things. Maybe there's a third party at play here that will be revealed at the end of the next episode. You know, someone that's making moves outside of Fisk and Matt's radar. I don't know. I don't think it'll be the swordsman, but what if it was? That'd be kind of, I don't know. That'd be kind of funny. But it's not supposed to be funny. We need a jaw-dropping ending. And that's kind of, we need the show to land. I'll be honest. The show really needs to land. It needs to put the suit on. We got to suit this guy up. He's got to fight like a bunch of dudes in the tiniest hallway they've ever done. And just make it great. I don't know. I believe. You know what? But the thing is, this show is so good. I've gone back and watched almost every week, like the day before of a new episode, or today. I watched last week's episode because, well, it's just a blast. I love the show. So if it's taking that long to like kind of get, if it'll ever get to the territory where Matt's always Daredevil, I don't think we're going to maybe ever get that, because part of the show is about who Matt is on the outside and him letting go of his secret identity in a way. Do you think that Matt jumping and taking a bullet, the fact that he's blind to the public, is going to cause, I don't know, people to ask a little bit more questions about Matt and what he's capable of? And is he really blind? Maybe Kingpin will just be full on evil in reaction to that and literally throw Matt under the bus for being Daredevil, but that wouldn't be a very fun season. I think Fisk, he finds admiration for shit like that. You see it with him promoting that guy. You see it in the show. Like he likes having weird admiration for weird things going down. So where do you think this is going? MarvelManiacPod@gmail.com. Again, thank you for being here. I want us to make a community on Patreon. Patreon.com/MarvelManiac on that one. And we'll start making special little episodes. I got some plans. They're going to be fun. And it'd be great to see you over there. Great to see you. Until Friday, when we're talking about Daredevil, the 2003 masterpiece that no one called it that, but I am, that I loved as a kid. We're going to talk about that and its epic soundtrack, and maybe watch it on Disney Plus if you have the time before Friday at 2 p.m. When, just to be clear, episode releases are Wednesday mornings at 5 a.m., Friday afternoons at 2 p.m. That's the schedule, and that's what I've been going for the last few weeks, maybe with an exception. So I'll say it one more time, because I even need to hear it. Wednesday mornings at 5 a.m., Fridays Friday afternoons at 2 p.m. That's when you'll get your 2 Marvel Maniacs a week. We're not going to go to 3 just yet. Do you want 3? I don't think I can do 3. The 3rd will be for the Patreon. That I can do. And that I'm excited about. And that's all we got to talk about today. Thanks again for being here. And until next time, Avengers, disassemble.